money for my pain, so I put it in this music. God gave me a talent, best believe I'ma use it. Better think with your brain before you mess around and lose it.
Hey, would you guys consider moving back from there to 16? What are you looking for? Yeah, third. Yeah, I think we're gonna get that up. Yeah. Yeah, we might do our fourth. I talked to coach, but he might be willing to do our fourth. Okay, thanks. I'll give you a call back. Okay. I called them anyway to see would they be willing to move back, and they said they would. He asked for a third. I said no. I said we might do our fourth.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders was interested in moving up in the draft to 14, but to select who? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So, the Washington Commanders, they just put out their most recent episode of the Command Log. Basically, it's a documentary series on the Commanders YouTube channel where they follow players. The most recent one was on, obviously, the first round pick of Emmanuel Forbes. And they did an inside look of how the war room was, Ron Rivera preparing for the draft, going to the scout combine. It was a really, really, really good watch, man. So if y'all have not seen that, go check it out on their channel. It was some interesting things said in that video. Again, like I said, they took us inside of things that we didn't even know that was transpiring on draft night. We got the inside, the intel of, again, what we didn't know that had transpired. Like, we knew it was a possibility that Washington was interested in moving back in the draft, but trading up, I didn't think that would have been a possibility this year, but it looked like they were interested. So, Martin Mayhew in the Command Log, he called up the Colts, the Patriots front office, and basically asked them, hey, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all want to move back to 16 and we come up to 14? And what are you looking for? Martin Mayhew was on the phone and he said that we looking, we want a third for it. We want a third round pick, and then Martin Mayhew was like, I don't think coach is willing to move up, give up that to move up 2 spots. We're more so looking to give up a fourth, and obviously the Patriots was like, nah, we're good. They were apparently going to give the Washington Commanders a 6th round pick in return for their 3rd round pick too. So Washington was going to receive a 6th round pick and pick 14 to move up. And then give up 16 and a 3rd. So, honestly speaking, I'm glad they didn't do that, because who were they going to move up to 14 for? Who was they going to move up for? Because obviously Christian Gonzalez was still there at 16 when they was on the board, and he was arguably the best rated corner on the board. So, it couldn't have been for a DB. Could it have been for a tackle? Could it have been for an edge? Potentially, but I feel as though the Washington Commanders was looking to move up to 14 because they felt like other teams like the Jets, the Steelers, and the Patriots, they were going to take Emmanuel Forbes. But as we know, nobody was going to take Emmanuel Forbes. Like, yeah, we're hearing now that a lot of teams loved Emmanuel Forbes in the draft and they would have loved to take him, but a lot of those teams would have tried to make a move. A lot of those teams picked in the draft before us, and could have had an opportunity to take Emmanuel Forbes, but they didn't do it. So I'm glad they didn't do that, okay? I'm glad Emmanuel Forbes fell to them right where he was, because we were this close to moving up to 14 to select Emmanuel Forbes. And if we would have did that, because a lot of y'all that like the Emmanuel Forbes pick off the back, right? You like it, you love it, right? Tell me, be honest with me. Would you have still liked the pick if we moved up? If we moved up to 14, gave up a 3rd round pick, Because ultimately, I believe our third round pick ended up being Chris Rodriguez, so we wouldn't have got Chris Rodriguez. And you know how Eric Bieniemy feels about the C-Rod pick. Again, you don't know what Rodriguez was going to be. You don't know if you would have been able to get Rodriguez in the later rounds. You don't know nothing, but it would have affected that. So you wouldn't have had a third round pick, and you wouldn't have been able to get him. So I'm happy that they did not do that, because that's who they were going to move up for. It was nobody else that they were intrigued by, because everybody else was still there. I mean, everybody was there from the DB position. Christian Gonzalez, Manuel Forbes, Joey Porter Jr. The only corner that was off the board was Devin Witherspoon. So you didn't need to trade up. So it got me thinking that that's the only person that they were going to trade up for. Yeah, I heard that they were interested, in obviously Myles Murphy, and interested in, some tackles and stuff like that. But I feel like it was for Emmanuel Forbes. I mean, you heard Ron Rivera, again, if you did not watch the Commanders Law, go watch it. You heard him say on his way to the war room, on the way to Ashburn, the draft room or whatever, he said, if Emmanuel Forbes is there, he's our guy. So that has to be the reason they were going to move up. And I'm happy that they still I'm happy that New England turned them down, because if New England said, yeah, you know what, we'll take a fourth, we would have moved back. We would have gave up a fourth round pick. Our fourth round pick would have ultimately have been, let's see, I'm trying to remember our draft. I know it was Forbes, Quan Martin, C-Rod, was it Braden Daniels and then KJ Henry, or was it KJ Henry then Braden Daniels? It was was it actually Ricky Stromberg? Now I think about it, I think it was first round Forbes, second round Martin, third round Stromberg, and then fourth round was Rodriguez, I think, and then fifth round was Henry, if I can remember correctly. Either way, we wouldn't have ended up being able to get one of those guys. So it's actually a blessing in disguise, because I really think Rodriguez or Henry, they are going to play a vital role on this team, right? Obviously, we know Eric Bieniemy loves Chris Rodriguez. KJ Henry, we have high hopes for him because he's a fifth-year senior at Clemson. He was the running mate with Myles Murphy, and we think he can do good things here. Obviously, we know Chase Young or Montez Sweat, neither one of them aren't going to be here next year. So we need somebody that can potentially replace them. And could KJ Henry be that guy? We'll see. He's going to have a vital role coming in his rookie year. We wouldn't have potentially have gotten that if we would have traded up in the draft to select Emmanuel Forbes. So again, it ended up working out for the Washington Commanders. At the end of the day, Jack Del Rio was fired up that they got Emmanuel Forbes. So that's something else that we learned, that Jack Del Rio was all on board with Emmanuel Forbes. They did have some conversation about, Gonzalez, but again, they already made it clear. They had their mind made up since they woke up that Forbes was going to be the guy. So if he was there, again, you seen how fast they turned in that card. So they were not playing. They wanted Forbes by any means. They were willing to trade up for him. If there was any sign of threat that the Washington Commanders guy, Emmanuel Forbes, was going to get taken, they would have moved up. Like, if they would have heard the Packers was interested in him, they would have heard that the Jets was interested in him, they would have moved up to 14. Where I believe Ron Rivera probably was tempted to give up that third-round pick. But he did the right decision, right? He stayed true to his gut, and it worked out for him in a sense of not having to give up draft capital to move up in the draft and select Emmanuel Forbes. Emmanuel Forbes so far in OTAs has been solid. He's been getting worked by Terry McLaurin, but he's also came back and had some PBU, so he's been solid. Again, I wanted a DB, right? I wanted a DB. I'm pretty sure we all wanted a DB. So at the end of the day, whether you like the pick or not, we got a DB, and we're going to see how he plays in this coming season. He's going to have to step up big. He's going to have to fill a lot of shoes. I mean, you already heard the older fan. She said, "Hey, young man, you're gonna have a lot of shoes to fill. Do you know who Darryl Green is? Go put on the tape and go study him." So Emmanuel Forbes has a big task in front of him. He got a lot of wide receivers that he's gonna be checking this year. Devontae Smith, CeeDee Lamb, and countless other wide receivers. I'm trying to remember the schedule. Jalen Waddle, like, he got a lot of weapons that he's going to have to face this year. So we're going to need a huge year from Emmanuel Forbes. There you have it. Let me know what you guys think about this video down below in the comments section. The Washington Commanders really was interested in trading up. How do you feel about it? Let me know. As always, it's been your boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.
We the kings of the East, I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. The DMV behind you, Commanders. Now it's time to step in the field and take command. 1932, we was established. We been running the NFC East every year after like. We got the best fans in the league. You cut through our skin, it's burning gold where we bleed. Cause hail to the Commanders, we the best in the league. We fight for DC and the whole DMV. We got a new name but still got the same rings though. We got a new name but still on the same mission though. And that's the one that's above and we fall back to the city.